I need you to understand that if you want to get more views on TikTok Shop, it is so much about the hook and then the value that you provide. It's even more so than normal content. Again, it's not an oversaturated space by any means, but one thing consumers are becoming more familiar with is being sold to. And unfortunately, people are pretty poor at selling. They're very poor at sales, and that's why not all of them go into sales jobs. So we need to focus and understand how we can hook someone in a genuine, authentic way, or a funny way, or a way that gets them to watch. I'm going to give you a real world example of one of my posts that did really, really well and earned me quite a bit of money through TikTok Shop, and all I was selling was dart flights. I'm going to give you an example of what I did. I had these dart flights, and hopefully you can relate this to something you're doing. Had these dart flights. These are the Nuke. If you're into darts, you'll know who Luke the Nuke Littler is. He's a big name at the moment, so I capitalized on that fact. And I had these dart flights, and all I did was start throwing these at my dartboard, and I was going, these dart flights are so, oh no. And I kept intentionally missing the dartboard. I was going, these darts are so, oh no. God, these Luke ones are rubbish. And then, after I'd missed all 3 shots, I then went, oh, it's because I'm using the wrong flights. I bought these on TikTok Shop, look. And as I was throwing them, I was hitting the 20s, treble 20s with these. So I went from missing the board with these and saying how rubbish they were, to then using these and getting good scores. And I said, it's all down to these flights. So what I'd done is visually hooking. I knew I was going for people that were playing darts. I knew as soon as they heard the name Luke the Nuke Littler, they would probably watch. And they found it instantly funny because within 1 second of them watching the video, I'd thrown this and it had missed the board, which was a real good hook for them to go, oh my God, so I've heard Luke the Nuke Littler, audio hook. The guy that's throwing the darts has missed the board, which is hilarious, a visual hook. And then I've found them the solution to my problems. Does that make sense? Another example of this, and I used the same because it was very easy having these in another video that did really well. I had these on my desk, and in the first 2 seconds, remember, the hook to get them watching my specific audience, which I was aiming at darts players, was very key. I had these on my desk, and I did 2 things with them. I had them on my desk, I pushed them away. So the first second you see me push these away, and I said, get out of here, Luke. So they knew what they were watching. They knew it was dart content. I threw them off. And the next second, I had up on my screen these in front of my hand, and I had my screen in front of me, which is my laptop. And on my laptop, I had some very questionable tabs open. If you've watched my content for a long time, you'll know I love to rage bait people. It's a great way to get engagement. So people were commenting on the tabs I had open as they were silly, sort of like, do ants eat people? And things like that. Silly things in my tabs. But it made people comment. So while they were watching me talk about these flights, my intention was they would look at the tabs behind. So I got the darting community by saying Luke and hitting them off. I then put these up, which is the solution I'm trying to sell, but in the background I'm getting engagement because I'm getting the comments about the questionable tabs, which pushed my content out further. More people saw it, more people ended up buying these flights off the back of it. So what we're looking at doing here is providing value, because we've got to sell something. At the end of the day, there has to be a purpose. There's got to be an emotional decision for someone to buy something like this. There's got to be a real reason behind them. Maybe they're thinking of buying this. Maybe the audience is right for this type of product. But they're not just going to buy it if someone comes on and goes, hi guys, I bought these flights and they're really, really good. They made me play much better, and I think they'll make you play better too. That's never going to sell to anyone. But if you can do something to hook them in, make it funny, but also provide them with some kind of value that doesn't feel like selling. Not in any way did I really say, these flights are amazing, you should buy them. All I was doing was once I changed over to these, I started visually getting a better result or something like that. And people can see, okay, maybe these flights could help me. And then they made that emotional decision to purchase, that spontaneous decision. Ultimately, anyone buying on TikTok Shop is making a spontaneous decision to buy. Then probably not intending on scrolling through TikTok today and buying something from TikTok Shop. So you've got to make them want that particular thing. The other way to do this is to use the product. Again, thinking to that sort of QVC, the teleshopping style, the reason that works so well again is because people are actually seeing people use the product. It's no longer an image. It's no longer someone saying, this is really good, you'll really like this. They're actually presenting the product in such a way going, look, essentially what they're doing is saying, I could tell you all of the features of this product and how great it is, but I'd rather just show you how it works. And if you feel like you have the problem that this is solving, then you'll buy it. And that's what they're doing with teleshopping. That is the same method with TikTok Shop. So what you'll see is a lot of people, for example, they'll have, you might have seen this actually, these, what are they called? They're mouth-washing, I'm trying to think on the spot. They're mouth-washing, like pressure, and it flosses your teeth. You know what I'm thinking. There's like water in it, it pushes the floss out. So a lot of people got those and they were doing these videos going, oh, look how great they are. Woohoo, these are fantastic. Look, they're making my teeth lovely. And they weren't selling. But the videos that did the best from those are the ones that actually showed it work. As in, they used this pressure and literally within a second, they pressed the button, it blew out a load of plaque from their teeth and they stopped and were like, oh my God. And they picked it up at, look at this plaque. And they made it funny and like they were surprised and it made the product suddenly look tangible. Look, I've seen that product work now. Clearly it works because it's just blown a load of plaque out of this person's mouth. And for them, they've gone, I've got plaque. That clearly works. I need to get this. Do you see where this is going? Presenting the product in such a way that they can think for themselves how this is going to benefit them. You don't have to sell the product. You're not trying to sell a product. People don't like to be sold to. But what they do like is buying things that will better themselves, which will make them feel better about themselves or make them kind of like the fact they bought it and they're excited to get it. So whatever the product is that you choose, and if we haven't already, we're going to be looking at that in a moment, finding the right products. You need to think, how am I going to make it so the person watching this not only stops and watches this video, good hook, but also connects to the video and it feels like I'm just showing them how this product works and how it will solve their pain point without selling it. And that's the best way to make your TikTok Shop videos work. So if you're currently doing TikTok Shop videos, you're going, I'm not getting any sales. I want you to go back, audit your videos. Also, chuck them in the community. Say, hey, these are my TikTok Shop videos. Can you have a look at the last 3? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. We'll jump in and give you feedback. But the main thing is, or re-audit your content and just think to yourself, am I really trying to sell in these videos or am I actually just trying to provide an insightful video of my own experience that may well touch a chord with whoever's watching it and make them feel like, do you know what, I need that. I'll give you one more example of a video that I've seen recently and it was a massive comfy blanket. Now don't get me wrong, that sounds like quite a hard thing to sell. What are you going to do? Lie in your bed and go, oh, look how comfy this blanket is, and hope that someone's going to go, oh, I want to be comfy in bed. No, it won't work, but that's what most people were doing. However, the video that I saw that did incredibly well, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of pounds in commission, was a video that went viral, and this lady had someone walking in, it was her husband, walking in from a long day at work. He worked outdoors, it was cold outside, and he come in freezing, messy on his clothes, and just coming in authentically said, I am absolutely knackered. Can I just lie down for a minute? So it's an emotional situation that a lot of us can resonate with. A partner coming in, looking knackered, and just wanting to lie down for a minute. So we're watching. He lies down, and she goes, you look freezing. And I've been working outside all day. I'm knackered, I'm cold. And she gets, well, I got this the other day from TikTok and put it over him. And that emotional situation, she wasn't selling the product. She wasn't going, look how great this blanket is. She had a real situation going on where she presented this solution to her husband's problem and people resonated with that situation and said, oh my God, I could create that situation for my husband when he comes home. And they sold so many off the back of it. So I just want you to think about that. Stop selling and try to create situations and videos where people feel like they can resonate and emotionally connect and make that spontaneous decision because they want that solution. They want that thing and that situation. And that is how you will get more engagement, more sales, and more views on your TikTok Shop videos.